Travel and Things in association with Sun Destinations, iconic destinations with amazing experiences, present In Conversation With. I'm your host, David Batsoffen, and today I'm joined by not one, but two guests. They are the managing couple of in Nyala Safari Lodge. That's Dave and Nickie Giles. Good morning to both of you.
Morning, David.
Morning, David.
Thanks so very much for joining me. And let's get right into it because there's so much to talk about at your property and so much I enjoyed while I was staying there. So let's jump straight in. I did believe that when I first saw these rondavels, which are your accommodations, that I'd been time traveled back to 1966 and I was 13 and having my birthday all over again. But that's not the case once you open the doors to this. Was this a conscious decision? And this question is to either of you. Was it a conscious decision to keep the suspense going, the old and what is behind the door?
Yes, it was. We wanted to carry on with the old traditional look of the rondavels and keep it as a Kruger Park design.
Right.
But then we wanted to incorporate a touch of luxury to it as well. So that's when we thought, well, it would be really nice for guests to have a wow factor. Once they open the door and actually get into the rondavel, they would go ultimately wow. And that's exactly the reaction that we get these days. So it worked.
It is indeed. I was not expecting, when I opened the door, to be fair, I was expecting old sandparks, beds and that type of stuff, and that definitely is not what you get. Putting square and rectangular objects into a round space, Nickie, cannot be easy.
No, it was a little bit challenging. We had to add in a little square bit behind the bed just to accommodate the bed nicely.
Right.
But working around that and sort of we managed to make it work. So yeah, I think we did a pretty okay job there.
You did more than okay. Come on, you're being modest now. And the shapes and the curves extend, pardon me, to the bathroom as well, where this bath again was not what I was expecting. I have to say it reminded me a bit of that old IBM advert, remember with the elephants where they gave birth in eggs. He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother was the music that went along with it. And they gave birth in ad number 2 to baby elephants that came out of eggs that weren't too different from this half an egg that you've got here.
Well, I suppose it's the rebirthing of the bathroom. No, it's we wanted to follow through with the curves of the bathroom, and we just thought that was a really lovely shaped bath. So it flows beautifully. When you walk through the bathroom and around the bathroom, everything has got a curve, and it's just it works very well. It's a nice feature.
I have to say, this elephant made me very sad, Nickie. Because we had the chat about this. For two things. Firstly, I did not want to kill it in order to get my towels. There was and the worst moment for me was taking the eyes off. I was distraught when I did that. But secondly, and this has happened to me at other places where they've made towel animals. I know that it's made out of the towels. But I still look for my towels in the bathroom going, where are the towels? Oh, let me just go to reception and ask them where my towels are. And then I realized they're looking straight at me.
Yeah, they are very beautiful. And very luckily for me, the ladies are really good at making them. So, it's a nice feature, I have to say. The elephants are very popular.
I was going to say, are elephants the most popular, or do you have others that they are capable of making?
They do little rhinos as well, and swans, and a few others.
So please note, if you're going to murder your animals for the towels, make a contribution to the Save the Elephant Fund at the same time. It'll make you feel better.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Going back to the bathroom, this is the wall that I spoke to you about. This is probably the most sensuous feature in this rondavel, Dave, because I have an issue with walls like this. I want to just run my hand up and down them and do all of those sort of things because it envelops you, this wall. It's not a cutting off from. It's a let me just hold you while you have a shower moment. It's really glorious.
It's a sexy wall.
Yeah,
It's a
and it's
very
really,
sexy wall.
yeah.
But
No,
and then
they did a great job there, and it really does flow very, very nicely and invites you to the outdoor shower, which we did manage to persuade you to do.
yeah, I
But
did it in a lightning storm. Stupid me.
yes,
Please
yeah,
do not do this at home. But I have to say, that was one of the most exciting showers I have ever had. To be both rained on and showered on, and then watching the trees light up when the lightning struck was awesome. It really
I'm
did.
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, we say to all our guests it's compulsory. They have to have an outdoor shower. Because a lot of people from overseas have never experienced one before. So,
Yeah,
it's a good adventure for them.
it
Even in
is
the middle of
indeed.
winter.
That's the best. But then what you do is you put on the indoor shower, you let that run, and then you go outside and you freeze your rear end off, and then you just run inside and warm yourself back up. We at home put in an outdoor shower about a year ago, and it's the best addition we've ever done to this house. I love standing in the garden and showering. Not so sure
Yeah,
about the neighbors though, but I don't care about them.
exactly. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't indeed. Um,
Yeah.
this is looking from the main bedroom down the corridor. On your right, there's one of the biggest toilets I've ever been in, standalone toilet, and then the bathroom at the end. But Nickie, I seem to remember that you told me that this wall, where the coffee and tea station is, and the desk on the left-hand side, is where that rondavel used to end. So the bathroom, the
Yes.
toilet, and the showers were all in addition to.
Yes, it was very compact
Mm.
originally. So you'd walk through the front door and you'd have a basin on your right hand side,
Okay.
literally sort of tucked behind the door, basically.
Mm.
And then yeah, you'd have basically like a little rectangular space. So your shower would be on the left, and then your toilet would be on the right, and
Okay.
that was it. So yeah,
Well, at
it
least
was
that's an upgrade from Kruger because in Kruger you had to go to the public ablution block, which could be
well,
hundreds of meters away.
could be miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, we made a slight change there, and we really upgraded that area.
You did indeed.
So
It's very again, and the tones are neutral, but they're not pure whites. There's just tinges to things that make them even more lovely. This is not, I must just reiterate, this is not the lounge at my accommodation. This is the lounge in the main building, which is a really nice space if you want to share it with other people. And here again, the flow is really nice, Dave, because you come in through the door on the right-hand side, you can go out on the door. On the left, there's a veranda there, there's a seating area there. And I do believe that you've scored here because your guests all feel as if they're family. And this is just a family home that they can wander through, without feeling that they're intruding into an office space or into a kitchen, that type of thing.
Yeah, that's what we really do sort of cherish, and they do warm to that.
Mm.
They do arrive initially. There's obviously that little bit of trepidation, and they've finding their way around. But after the first night, they're in. They're part of the furniture. They're helping themselves to tea and coffee, chatting to the chefs, chatting to everyone. They are part of the family, and we have that sort of relaxed way of hosting, and that they must get involved.
Mm. Yeah.
We will wait on them, but they help themselves to whatever they want, help themselves to drinks, and we find that they feel a lot more comfortable with that rather than being hovered around. And
Yeah.
you
I
know
get I get uncomfortable with the hovering because
yeah,
you either feel beholden to say yes, I'll have a cup of coffee, or you in your head you're going, just go away and leave me alone. You don't.
Well,
You don't.
yeah, that whole space, will lend itself to that. We just
Yeah.
want to leave them alone because they have come here for peace and solitude, and the last thing they need is, us just,
Overly
being there.
attentive staff.
Yeah.
Although your
It's very
staff are wonderful.
easy.
That being said, your staff are glorious to deal with. They really and
Thank
truly
you.
are. And
Thank you.
they're not in your face constantly. Okay, so
Yeah.
from inside to outside, this vehicle caught me out because I didn't realize that there was a second door. So for the first two game drives, I kept hopping over the bank because it pulls up at a ramp. So you can literally just climb from the ramp into the vehicle. But then we'd get out on the game drive, we'd stop for morning coffee or afternoon sundowners, and I'd hop over the vehicle until somebody said to me, there's a door you can open. You don't have to climb over the thing.
Yeah.
It's because your camera lens was so big, you couldn't see the door.
No, I didn't notice it at all. And this is another differential between Nyala and the majority of the other camps that I've stayed at. These vehicles only seat 6 people, which is really nice because I think 10 on a vehicle can get a little bit clubby, as they say. And the middle person is always, I can't see here and I can't see there, and they're banging around and jumping up and down, and it becomes very uncomfortable. But I think you've got it right with these 6-seaters.
Yeah, that seems to be the norm. And chatting to other, lodges and that, and vehicle manufacturers, they even on the bigger vehicles, they are, you convert them, you can do the 6-seater, you can add in seats. They're now becoming almost like a jigsaw puzzle, like a
Yeah.
Lego. And you can then construct it for your guests.
Mm.
But you're right, putting 3 in a row and you've got couples, someone has to sit, with
Yeah.
foreigners. So we find that works really well.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of way forward that we sort of aiming for. But yes, when we get a big party or whatever it is, then we've got 10-seaters and they're all a big family, so they just get on with it.
They get on with it. Your gardens, I have to say, I don't know who's responsible, and I'm hoping it's a joint venture, although I have a sneaking suspicion, Dave, that this falls into your bailiwick. Your gardens are spectacular. It's an oasis in the middle of the bush, and utilizing these sort of the old agricultural equipment just adds yet another layer to what I found when I was there. I was enthralled by literally everything I touched. I don't mean to sound like I'm gushing, but I know that I am, because that's what I felt like when I was there. There wasn't a place that I looked into that was, don't like that. It's not going to work for me.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time on that garden, and it's been a passion of mine getting it green. And a lot of time and effort has gone into the lawns and fighting the termites and the ants and the hardy-dars and the impala, because I'm in the middle of winter, is an oasis, and we get the herds of impala coming out, and they're pretty much like goats, and they pull out all the grass.
Yeah.
So we have this love-hate relationship with them. But yeah. And of course, credit goes to my son. He is, he's got the greenest fingers in the country, and he's given us a lot of help. He has his own landscaping business, so yeah, big shout out to him, and he really has helped us with a lot of the direction here.
Great, and it's paid off, and I'm sure you find that guests comment about it as well. Now, we're jumping back to where the lounge was. This is the other view. Open plan kitchen. Nickie, I know you weren't happy with this image because of the container of the muffins in the foreground. But in that container, those muffins are very special. I'm amazed there are even muffins in that container when I took the photograph, because I think they vanished shortly afterwards. But here again, you've brought your guests into the kitchen. And said, come and have a look. This is how we do it. Here's our staff. Watch them prepare your meals and become part of it, rather than them being in the background and nobody even remembers who's preparing their food.
Yeah, no, it's true. And those muffins, they get baked daily. So every morning, before you head out on a game drive, you'll find those fresh muffins there to take with you, or to have when you get back. But yeah, normally the breakfast takes priority over those when you get back from your drive. But they're there for the helping, just help yourself throughout the day, and the peanut butter biscuits too, and the
No,
rusks.
don't get me started on your peanut butter biscuits, please. I'm having withdrawal symptoms as we speak.
Yeah, they're a winner, those. We've had to give out that recipe to so many guests, I have to tell you.
Another seating area, this overlooks what is a seasonal river in your case. It wasn't flowing when I was there, but there were pools of water. So we did have elephants come and go, as elephants do, very quietly. They weren't splashing. They were sneaking in and out. Luckily, I was looking out for them. But again, a really nice space to enjoy with or without other people. If they want to come and sit and join you, there's nothing to stop them. And I do believe that this type of thing evokes, it's not like a hotel where if you're on a hotel holiday, you never speak to the other guests. You see them maybe in the elevator to say hello, and that's it. Yet at a lodge, it's glorious because you're interacting all the time because you've had similar experiences.
Yeah, we find that, when we get guests, like a couple will come in, and like in your case, you were there or they were there before you, we separate, just out of respect. And then normally by the end of the stay or the second or third meal, you're all at the same table because you've all got something in common to chat about on the game drive and what you saw. And, it becomes, you become friends.
This is exactly it. I seem to remember that it was a Swiss couple when I was there. They were going to Mauritius as part of their honeymoon. I do hope they didn't burn themselves on that island. I warned them. I said, if you thought Africa was hot, trust me, it's not.
Mauritius. Yeah. No, it's really nice. We've got really nice areas for people to relax. And
you have indeed. The pool is one of them. The weather wasn't great. Normally, if I'm traveling with my wife, she's the one that tests out the pool, and I just sit in the background and watch her splashing around. And then this just caught my attention. It's the loveliest, most wonky bench I've ever seen. But I think it speaks to what you guys are doing there, or have achieved within Nyala.
That bench is quite an amazing piece of furniture. The Willy Wonka bench.
It is.
It is incredibly heavy, and it's sort of got a mind of its own. I don't know what metal it's got on the sides, but it's like iron.
That's cast iron. It's really quite
probably
old.
Made of old railway tracks and sadness.
Yes.
And then lastly, but by no means least, because we're running out of time now, this dessert was so special. I'm a lemon meringue pie aficionado, or I like to believe so. And not many people get the meringue to lemon ratio right, but you guys did. In spades, you did. And if it wasn't for the fact that I didn't want to see myself as greedy, I would have asked you for a second helping on this one.
You should have.
No.
Yeah, it's a good recipe, that, and I think our ladies have got it down to a fine tea now. So
they have indeed.
Delicious.
Nickie, with that in mind, do the menus vary, or do you have sort of a rotational menu that January the menus run X, February they're similar but different, so that people that are there for longish stays are not going to have the same food 2 days in a row?
Yeah, I have to alter the menus according to the guests. A lot of the guests, they will notify us, hopefully in advance, whether they've got dietary requirements, whether they're vegan or lactose intolerant or gluten-free. So I have to accommodate everybody. So it's, the menus are done individually, actually, as the guests come in. But I want them to experience like a really good braai evening, or a fish dish, or something like that.
Great stuff. Have you found, you say people must give you advanced warning. Have you found that people arrive They've told you nothing about their dietary requirements. And I think on my form, normally when people say, what are your dietary requirements? I just go food, which makes it easier. But have you had people who arrive and they go, oh, this is very nice. What's for lunch? And you put it down. They go, oh, we forgot to tell you we're vegan or we're vegetarian.
Absolutely.
And
They
then
do
you've got to
that.
hurtle out somewhere to find food to satisfy them. You know, I would just let them loose in the garden, go and munch on a plant.
It is very difficult because, as you know, town is quite far away.
It is.
And just to nip to the shop for something fresh like that can be challenging. So we always have to, when people are coming in that day that they normally arrive for lunch or something, we normally would offer a vegetarian style lunch.
Okay.
So that would sort of give us an idea, and then I've got a chance to talk to the guests and find out what they do and don't eat. So,
but on the other hand, as I said, on the other hand, Darren, you remember that?
Yes.
We'll get people who say they actually vegetarian, vegan, whatever, and then you've catered this whole menu for them, and then they end up eating everything. So
exactly. You can't win. As I say, we come into the end of our chat. It's been glorious talking to you guys again. It really has. If people want to find out more about Nyala, where do they go? I take it that they can book through one of the booking platforms. They can book through Sun Destinations. Maybe directly through you. How does it work?
It works basically through Sun Destinations, through the website. There's lots of links that will actually take them. So even if you go onto our website, it will link it through to Sun, and then they will take the booking and handle the whole thing for us. That's how it works. It's basically all done through Sun Destinations.
Okay. Now, if I remember correctly, you have 5 units on the property.
5 units. It's so we can sleep a maximum of 10. But if there's some kids or children or whatever it is, we can put a bed in. So you could go 3 in a room if necessary. But generally, it's 5 units of double or
so if people,
twin or king beds.
If families are having some sort of reunion or some sort of special celebration, can they take the whole camp?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Yeah,
Great.
we would normally accommodate a maximum of say 12 because the camp, we've got seating for 12, we've got bonus seats for 12. So but we can work around
all of the above. Nickie,
Yeah.
Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys again. It really has. I hope that it's not too long before I actually see you guys again. Maybe in a different season, because it'd be interesting to see it, summer, winter, autumn, how the bush changes up there. Thanks once again for being guests on In Conversation with People. Go to Sun Destinations website and you can find all the booking information there. Nickie, Dave, once again, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thanks
Cheers,
so much.
David.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
so much. Bye-bye. Look forward to seeing you again.